July 20th, 1944. Wolfschanze. A bomb explodes, target Adolf Hitler. The operation is codenamed Valkyrie, but the dictator survives and with him the Nazi regime. But what if the bomb had achieved its goal? What if Hitler had died that day? In this video, we'll explore how history might have unfolded if the assassination had succeeded. To understand what was at stake, we need to take a step back, right into the summer of 1944. When the Third Reich was already faltering and a group of men was willing to risk everything to overthrow Hitler.
At that time, Germany was in a catastrophic situation. In the West, after the Allied landings in Normandy, a firm bridgehead had been established, and Allied forces were advancing toward Paris. In the East, Hitler's armies were struggling under the massive onslaught of the Red Army. Defeat was inevitable. Yet Hitler refused to surrender even an inch of ground. Instead, he ordered the war to be fought at all costs, even if it damages his own population. July 20th, 1944 seemed like the perfect opportunity. Hitler had scheduled a military briefing at the Wolfschanze. Stauffenberg, who had direct access, smuggled a bomb into the meeting room inside a briefcase.
For a small group of officers and politicians, one thing was clear. Hitler was the greatest obstacle to peace and a free Germany. Many people believed in him at first, but after the war crimes, the killing of civilians, and his dangerous fanaticism, they stopped supporting him a long time ago. They came from different backgrounds, senior generals like Ludwig Beck and Henning von Treschko, politicians like Karl Goerdeler, and young officers like Klaus Schenk Graf von Stauffenberg. The failure of the attack also meant the failure of the planned coup. That same evening, Hitler had the conspirators arrested and brutally executed. The hope for a quick end to the war was shattered, and the Third Reich was close to its ending.
Several factors caused the assassination attempt to fail. Due to the summer heat, the meeting was moved from a sealed bunker to an above-ground wooden hut. In the bunker, one bomb might have killed everyone, but in the hut, open windows let the blast pressure escape, weakening the explosion. Stauffenberg only had time to arm one bomb instead of two because the meeting started earlier than expected. He placed the bomb in a briefcase under a heavy oak table, but shortly before it exploded, an officer moved the case behind the thick table leg, further reducing the impact. 4 people died, many were injured, but Hitler stayed unharmed. His leaning posture over the thick table helped shield him from serious injuries. Believing Hitler was dead, Stauffenberg left the scene and flew to Berlin to launch the planned coup and overthrow the government. But Hitler survived and the attempt failed.
Stopp mal kurz, das ging mir zu schnell. Könntest du das bitte wiederholen?
Ja klar, also, die militärische Lage Deutschlands war zu diesem Zeitpunkt katastrophal, doch Hitler weigerte sich aufzugeben. Am 20. Juli 1944 versuchte eine Gruppe um Klaus Schenk Graf von Stauffenberg, Adolf Hitler mit einer Bombe in der Wolfschanze zu töten, um das NS-Regime zu stürzen. Aufgrund mehrerer Zufälle, darunter die Verlegung des Treffens in eine Hütte und das Umstellen der Aktentasche, überlebte Hitler das Attentat unverletzt. Stauffenberg glaubte zunächst an den Erfolg und leitete in Berlin den geplanten Umsturz ein, doch am selben Abend wurden er und die Mitverschwörer hingerichtet. Die Chance, Deutschlands noch zu retten, war damit vorbei.
But what if the assassination had succeeded? Let's imagine. The bomb explodes and kills Hitler. Chaos erupts at the Wolfschanze. Officers are wounded, the SS is leaderless. But Stauffenberg and his allies don't hesitate. Operation Valkyrie is immediately activated. Soldiers of the Reserve Army occupy key locations in Berlin, and the SS is disarmed. Hitler is dead, and with him, the center of the Nazi power collapses. A new provisional government takes over. The goal? To end the war as quickly as possible, to save Germany and to prevent further bloodshed.
Possible consequences of a successful assassination. Firstly, the Nazi regime falls. Without Hitler, the central leadership collapses. Goebbels, Himmler, Göring, they lose their support within the Wehrmacht and the general population. Many top Nazis attempt to flee or try to save themselves through false declarations of loyalty. The Führerkult crumbles.
2. Peace negotiations with the West. The new government immediately seeks contact with the Western allies, especially Britain and the United States. An armistice might be possible to prevent the complete destruction of Germany. But the conditions would be harsh. Withdrawal from all occupied territories, dismantling the Nazi leadership, and prosecution for war crimes.
Shorter war, fewer victims. If Germany had surrendered earlier, the war likely wouldn't have lasted until May 1945. Millions of people, especially civilians, might not have died, for example from bombings, the Holocaust, or battles on the Eastern Front.
Lastly, the end of the Holocaust. Without the central control of Himmler and Hitler, concentration camps could have been liberated or dismantled faster. Millions of Jews, Sinti, Roma, and other persecuted groups might have been saved.
Warte mal ganz kurz. Wäre das echt so einfach gewesen? Gab es nicht noch andere Nazis, die trotzdem treu geblieben wären? Und die Alliierten darf man doch auch nicht aus den Augen lassen.
Aber so einfach wäre das nicht gewesen. So klar und hoffnungsvoll dieser alternative Verlauf erscheinen mag, die Realität wäre wahrscheinlich viel komplizierter gewesen. Denn nicht alle Soldaten und Generäle standen gegen Hitler. Viele waren ihm bis zum letzten Moment treu ergeben. Die meisten wussten nichts von dem geplanten Umsturz und hätten im Zweifel loyal zur NS-Führung gestanden. Ein Staatsstreich inmitten eines Weltkriegs, eine fast unmögliche Aufgabe. Selbst mit Hitlers Tod wäre unklar gewesen, ob sich die Wehrmacht, die SS und die zivile Verwaltung tatsächlich auf eine neue Regierung eingelassen hätte. Und dann sind da die Alliierten, Churchill, Roosevelt und Stalin. Sie hatten sich längst auf eine vollständige Kapitulation Deutschlands verständigt. Keine Verhandlungen, keine Kompromisse. Selbst ein Deutschland ohne Hitler hätte sich nicht einfach freikaufen können. Die Bombenangriffe auf deutsche Städte wären wohl weitergegangen. Die Ostfront hätte weitergebrannt. Und auch ein anderes Schreckensszenario war möglich. Ein Machtvakuum hätte zu einem Bürgerkrieg geführt, zwischen alten Nazis, neuen Machthabern und aufständischen Truppen.
Conclusion. Hitler's death would have changed the world, but it would not have solved all problems overnight. The path to peace and freedom would still have been long and bloody.
The 20th of July 1944 remains a turning point, even though the assassination failed. It shows that even in the darkest chapter of history, there were people who had the courage to resist. People who were willing to risk their lives to overthrow a criminal regime.